What's good, boys and girls of the YouTube, Facebook, GBG community? Uh, Today I'm going to bring you a full overview of the PlayStation TV. I'm gonna cover, what's good about it, what's bad about it, and generally what I think about it. Like, honestly, what I think about it. First off, let's get some of the nitty gritty stuff out the way, the small little details before I hook it back up, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like after it's hooked up and done working. Um, Form factor, it's very thin, very small. Here's my S5, and if you compare it side by side, if you can really see it, it's not too much bigger than the S5, really. See, you can see it better that way. It's like two S5s put together, put it like that. Let's, connection wise, let's look at the back here. You have your, let me get it right, power button, memory card slot, which if you just stick your finger right there, it's kind of hard to get to from that angle, but take it out. 64 gig memory card, face up, goes in the slot like so, and when you hear that click, then it's in. Also on here, we have a USB port, HDMI port, Ethernet port, and where your power cable goes to power the thing. Not really that heavy. I would give it about, maybe a pound, if that, maybe a pound. So let me pause the video right. Oh, and before I forget, Eric asked a question about where do you put the physical Vita cards? Well, right there. Like if it's facing you this way, it's going. So if it's facing me right now, it's going to be on your right side. So when it's facing you, it's going to be on your right side. And all you do is find a little tab, which is usually right there on the top. You just take your nail and, well, hold on. Actually, it's better to do it from the bottom because they actually do have a little lip there that your nail can go under. And you pull, and there you go. Oh, move that out the way. God dang it, move! Worse than my damn dog. But you just stick your Vita cards in there, and you are good to go. So let me hook this thing up, and then I'm going to show you what it's like on the TV itself. Run through a few quick things, then show you some gameplay of, well, not gameplay, but show how Persona 4 loads, how PlayStation 1 games load, and how PSP titles load. So let me get this set back up, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, guys, I got everything set up, and now, as you can see, it's sitting right there. I got a LAN cable connected to it, the HDMI, that's the big white thing sticking out of it, and a USB cable, for which I had to have a little special surprise plan for y'all, but I'm going to turn it on, and this is what I'm controlling it with. Okay, quick things. Let's go to system settings. And if you're used to the PlayStation Vita layout, it's the same thing. As soon as you start up the system, it's going to be the same way. You're just going to use a controller to control it. So, of course, you got system update, network, PSN devices. If you have Vita, like I said, you've been through this. Resolution, it currently goes up to 1080i. If you set it to automatic, it will go to 720p. It automatically wants to play everything at 720p. That's okay, but like for Vita games, they will display in 1080i, so, and we have that. Okay, now it's 1080i. Themes and backgrounds, date and time, language system, all that. And yes, this one does have a HDMI link, device link, so, you know, just like the PS4, whenever you hit the home button on the PS4 controller, it turns on the system turns on your TV, so on and so forth. Media forwarding options, I'm guessing that's some type of, like, if I want to send something to an external Bluetooth device, I'm guessing, but as of right now, the only Bluetooth devices that it will recognize, actually, auto start setting. Make sure I got all my auto start settings, you know, good and ready. But the only stuff that it will recognize as far as devices are, you know, of course, your wireless controller. They count, as you can see. Got 2 DualShocks currently synced with this, so, you know, at any time one goes dead, I just pop on another one. You can register a Blu-ray, the BD remote control, which, you know, could be good, could be bad, I don't know. And also sync up an external keyboard, which I don't have an external keyboard, so not gonna worry about it. But it is possible that you can use a Bluetooth headset for, you know, online party chats and stuff like that. Of course, notifications, same as always. It's got all your notifications right there. And let's back out of this. Let's see. I know one guy asked, will the system blend? I would probably think so, considering how light it is. It probably will blend. I just wouldn't do it, and I'm not going to. As you can see, the PlayStation TV has something a little different than the original Vita, and that comes in the form of its featured tile, which stays up all the time. So it's like, you know, you can hit that button and you got your tiles if you have multiple things open. And featured pops up, and it's got your featured stuff for the week and your activities. So if anybody does anything, which it hasn't popped up yet because I know people play their Vitas, so I don't know if it's just picking up Vita TVs or other just Vitas in general, but you know, nothing's happening. Go over here, same setup, you know, you got all your games and your folders if you want them to. Let me go and get some of the disappointing news out. A couple of games that I want to play on this do not work. East does not work. Dragon Ball Z does not work. Guacamelee does not work. Another World does not work. It's weird, but it does not work. All the PS1 games do work though. All the PS1 games are straight. All your PSP games are straight. So, you know, and that's generally what my Vita is used for right now, is for a lot of PS1 RPGs and stuff like that. And of course, you know, PSP RPGs. Games that don't work, Street Fighter Cross Tekken unfortunately does not work, and it probably won't work for PlayStation All-Stars as well, so that's a bummer. I might test it later and give y'all an update on that. Luminous does not work. I don't know if Rainbow Moon will work. Let me test that out just to see, and yes, that works. Because usually, like, if it doesn't work, you'll get, hold on, let me go back to it. You will get a message like, because like they just had a dang update and the update installed or whatever, but you would have thought that the update would have done something, but of course it was probably an old update. But if it doesn't work, you'll get a message like that. And this one was really disappointing that it did not work. Of course, Gravity Rush doesn't work, and another disappointment was the fact that Metal Gear Solid HD Collection does not work. So that's that was a real bummer for me, that those two games didn't work. And Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds does not work. Sword Art Online does not work. Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus does not work, but everything else works. Of course, y'all came here to see what the quality looks like as far as how games run, and let me start up Persona 4 so you can see for yourself. Which I'm actually glad they got. Persona 4 they had to have work. That was like a must anyway, so take it as you will. Yes, would you like to? And after this, I'll show you a PS1 game, which PS1 and PSP is automatically going to drop the resolution of your screen to 720p, because that's what they output those games in, is 720p. So, it is what it is. To me, the thing is impressive just for what it's providing you, but what else are you gonna ask out of a small system? Look where it's coming from. It's a handheld converted into a TV console now. So, for all the Persona 4 Golden fans out there, you can play Persona 4 Golden on the big screen now. And unfortunately, for some reason, a while back, my cousin decided to take it in his best interest to restart my save profile. And let's just say that I had to start all the way over. And when I mean start all the way over, well, you see where I'm at. And he failed to tell me, so, I took a break off Persona and just now starting to pick it back up. Because I actually let him borrow it, but of course he didn't tell me, so, hey. It is what it is. I just went ahead and got a digital copy and told him to keep it. So, hey, now I can relive the journey all again. But, let me actually load that up. And you can see, don't expect any mind-blowing changes. It's a handheld on the TV. Come on, peeps. Don't expect God to appear. And there you go. Persona 4 Golden on your TV using DualShock 4. And it's smooth. But let's close out of that. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. Let me go on and do a PS4 test. And Brandon, since I'm going to keep this video short, I'm going to tell you now that over Wi-Fi, it's hit or miss depending on how far it is, what the signal has to travel through as far as the walls, the floors, metal and all that stuff. It's going to really depend on how strong your Wi-Fi signal is and according to how far you are away from it. But every time you use remote play, for some odd reason, even though I have it set up on a LAN, it always wants to not run as a LAN. You see how the Wi-Fi indicator popped up? It wants to run it on a Wi-Fi signal. So right now, and it's actually acting good. So, because earlier my internet was acting up, but no, it's not bad because, of course, this thing is running at 30 frames a second. So, of course, you're going to notice, you're going to say it's lagging, but it's really not. It's just you know, when you're looking on the menu on the PS4 itself, it's going to run at 60. That's just, it's going to run as menu speed, whatever, you know, it's going to run. But when you do it on here, it's cut down to 30, so it might seem like it's not acting right, but it actually is. Let's see. Unfortunately, you can't switch profiles, so if I wanted to, say, start and my Japanese account, I would have to go into my PS4, because, like, you know, you hit the PlayStation 4 button, and it just sends you back home. Because, I mean, I could, let me see. Nope, can't do it that way. But, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain because it could be worse. So, you know, close out of that. And now I'm going to show you the good little surprise about this. Let me find the game real quick. So, let's say you want to play Bloody Roar 2. And you see, application is going to start. It's going to change the screen resolution to 720p. I can go back later and change it back to what I want. And click yes, and it starts the game. When you start PS1 games on the Vita TV, it's going to, instead of putting the black bars on the top and the bottom, it puts the black bars on the side. So your widescreen TV is just really going to be like the center minus probably, mine is a 40, like you see where it says that S is on Sony, that's where it cuts off, as you can see right there. Which I'm not really tripping over that, because I mean it's a PS1 game, so. And of course, don't pay attention to that detail, because it actually looks a whole lot better than that.
Bloody Roar 2, the new.
And of course, you know, PS1 games, they weren't known for their resolution, so let me hit start.
Bloody Roar 2, the new.
And hopefully this thing autofocus. Okay. So, you know how you used to play these fighters and you couldn't play with a second person? Not anymore. Now, you can, player one, and let me grab my second controller, turn it on, player two. So now we can relive those old PS1 days of playing two-player versus on your Vita TV. Is it cool? Yes, it is damn cool. It is damn cool to finally see that on this type of device. It's finally cool to see that now, whenever you say, oh, I wish we could play this game, only, you know, you can't play it on the Vita because they didn't implement any type of online connectivity with the PS1 games. Well, guess what? Now we just do it old school. Which, hey, that's a win-win for me. Me and my wife can go at it sometimes now. But I'm going to cut this video and hit get back on the laptop and finish out this. And just in case y'all were, well, not in case y'all were wondering, but right now, like with all this stuff, I got 770 megabytes left out of a possible 63, I think. So, hey, it is what it is. Let me cut this off and go get the rest of this to give you the synopsis, the summary, and what I think about it overall. So, hold on 1 second. Okay, so that was pretty much the Vita TV, PlayStation TV, aka Vita TV in a nutshell. honest opinion, I like the device. It's well worth. It's a good base, but if Sony doesn't update some of the games to work with the system, it could lead to problems later on. Because I mean, we just had an exclusive drop Tuesday along with the system, but it is not compatible with the system. Uh, as you've seen, it was Senran Bagura Shinobi Versus. Uh, and that was one that my friend Dimitri asked me about. He was like, "Hey, can you play the game on the PlayStation TV?" And unfortunately, I had to tell him no because that was like one of the things I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna play it on the big screen," and it didn't work. Now, with that being said, the games that do play on the PlayStation TV play phenomenal. Killzone has a little bit of weirdness just because it was developed for mobile device and the dead zones are not really correct according to the controller, but it works. It works fine. It works flawlessly. You just turn up the sensitivity and it fixes all that. Um, I just showed you the whole two-player aspect with the old PS1 fighters. That is something since I got rid of my PS3. I'm glad I can do that now. Yes, is you know, let me just get down to this. If you were uninterested in it before and you were just kind of curious, I hope this video helped you to understand what it is, what exactly the PlayStation TV is, and I hope it kind of made not major decision, but kind of gave you like, okay, outweigh the pros and the cons because one of the biggest cons right now, like if you didn't own any PlayStation system, not a PlayStation 3, not a PlayStation 4, the Vita TV by itself is $100. Now, if you have neither of those systems, you just wanted something that was cheap and you could get into it, you still have to buy a controller. So, new PS3 controller, I think is like 50, and of course, PS4 controller is 59. I mean 60. So that's already adding another $50 to $60 right there off top. Then you have to get a memory card, which can range all the way from $20 up to $120, 64 gig, like I have. And bam, there you go. Now you're paying almost the same price as a damn Wii U for a micro console. But they have a little bundle where you can get the system, a game, an 8 gig memory card, and a PS3 controller for $139. So for about $150, with tax all included, you can get the system and you have access to 700 games, the majority of them being PSP, PS1 games. And I didn't really look at the list to see how many Vita games are on there. And that's why I'm hoping sometime 40 years out, they at least have 75% of their Vita library compatible with this device. Because if they can get Uncharted on here compatible, if they can get Sword Art Online compatible, if they can get Phantom Breaker compatible, if they can get Dragon Ball Z compatible, if they can get Metal Gear Solid HD compatible, this will be a great system. Is it greatness? Not quite. Does it have the potential to be greatness? Yes, it has the biggest potential to be greatness. For the price point that they're giving it to you at, you can't really just bash it. Because you have to think about it. It's a mobile device. It's technically still a mobile device, only you hook it up to your TV and use the actual controller now. Um, so for me, was it worth it? Yes. I always wanted to play most of my Vita games on a bigger screen just because you get tired of doing. Where is my Vita actually? Hold on. Here we go. You get tired of doing this. Vita? You get tired of Because guess what's going to happen in about 2-3 hours? The back of your neck starts hurting. Anybody that has a Vita will tell you after about 2 or 3 hours of just sitting there, and if you're grinding, like especially on Persona, if you get into it and you stay on it, you're gonna have some neck problems after a while, unless you just lay back and kind of do it. But I don't like laying back with a handheld. Um, let's see what else. Uh, Mike, I hope that answered some questions for you. As far as the input lag, it's just gonna be based off of what your connection is. So it's hit or miss either way you go. Nothing's perfect when you involve the internet. So of course you have to take it by what can your infrastructure at your residence give you. Because do I wish they would allow it to run over the LAN to where it would be zero lag? Yes, because as y'all seen in the video, it switched from LAN to Wi-Fi to do the remote play. Which I wish they do an update later just for the Vita TV to where you can turn that off. You can just go in there, click, and say, "Okay, turn off." Uh, so Chuck, is it worth a purchase? If you Is it a great companion to the PS4? Yes. Is it worth a purchase? If you were interested and you like what you saw, yes. If you were interested and were kind of on the fence, judge it by what you've seen. Judge it by what you like to play. Like me, I like RPGs. I have a shit ton of PS1 RPGs. I have a shit ton of PlayStation Portable RPGs, which I do not have on the system currently because as I told y'all, my damn memory card is full of just games. It is full. So I still have maybe 10 or 15 PSP RPGs on my download list. And of course, some of the Vita RPGs too. And Vita Racers. So I gotta do a lot more testing as I do testing, I do updates. But overall, system's good. It's not a bad system. It's just a great starting point for anybody that. And I think Sony might have done this to be like, hey, the cheap entry into a console that has a good library right off the bat. Is it the best? No. Is it greatness? No. But it can be. They just need to implement some fixes, implement just small little tweaks and stuff like that, and it'll be good. And one thing that I didn't show was they have a feature that uses the DualShock 4's touchpad as the Vita's touchscreen and rear touchpad. But it can be intrusive in games like Killzone because it requires you to use L3 and R3 to actually initiate the activation of the touchpad, which I thought was kind of weird. It's really like, why would I need to click a button to initiate it? Or if you just randomly hit it out of nowhere, it just pops up on your screen. So I leave it off. Of course, you do have vibration function with your controller, so that's always good. And I want to say that's pretty much it. Is good system? Yes. Excellent system? Can be later on. Just gotta work out some kinks. Uh, you know, as of right now, I'm probably about to hop off this video and start playing Persona 4 again so I can grind it out some more. But I love the system. If you found the video interesting, leave a comment, leave a question. I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. Kind of busy with work and school. So, busy life, and my wife, of course, she's going through pregnancy. But leave comments, ask questions. If it's something that I didn't tell you that you want to know, just ask and I'll try to find out. And I might have answered this question earlier on. No, actually I didn't. Kev, while I'm thinking about it, the Vita TV is going to operate the same as the regular Vita as far as profiles. So you cannot have multiple profiles on the PlayStation TV. It Yes, it does suck. 'Cause that would have been nice if you could have just switched profiles on the fly. But I understand it because you have to remember how the PSP is set up to where your memory card holds all your account information. So you could possibly, take your wife's memory card and stick it into the system and it pops up for her and it'll be, her profile, stuff like that. I don't know because I'm the only one with a Vita at my house, so wife's not really a gamer. Um, but yeah, I mean, good system, good price point. Can't really complain if you don't want to spend 200 and I think it's $250 for the new PSP. I mean, if you want something that's a TV solution, hey, $100 can't really beat it. Does just about everything the regular Vita does, just doesn't play some of the games. That's the only downside to it. So hey, like I said, if you like the video, rate, comment, subscribe, do your damn thing, troll all you want. I already know how this is gonna go down. People are gonna troll. People are gonna say Sony's dying. I don't care. You know how I feel about trolls. I give two damn shits less about them. But hey, this is Courtney. I'm signing off, and I hope this helped y'all, man, because we're all gamers and everybody needs help. So peace out, folks.